The heading function in Google Docs allows you to automatically create a way for your students to navigate throughout long classwork documents or assignments very quickly and easily. It also standardizes your font styles across your document without you having to continually change the font as you go. So first, I'll show you a quick example of what this might look like in a Google Docs classroom assignment on Google Classroom, and then we'll go through how to set it up yourself. It's one of those things that looks like it should be complicated, but it's actually very easy. So this is an example of an assignment about water in the Middle East, and also about source annotation skills. So this is pretty long. There's a lot going on in this lesson. They're going to have a little mini lesson, they're going to watch a video, they're going to do a source analysis, and they finish with a group discussion. So this is something that students might get a little bit lost as you go through class because there is just so much on the page, and it could be hard, especially if they're not comfortable with computers, to make sure that they're always in the right place and get back to the sections they need to be in easily. Now, once you set up your headings, it automatically will help the students navigate, and it does that in two ways. So the first option is to do something like I have here, where there's basically just a list of links, and as the students click on them, they can jump around the document. So for example, let's say they're up here at the top, but they just realized everybody else is ready to watch this video. So they could just click video overview and they click that, and it jumps them right down to where they need to be on the page. So that's the first way that you can use your headings. The second way is actually how I find it to be a little easier, is to go up here and click this button on the side that says Show Document Outline. And once you click on that, it pulls it all up on the side, and then this stays here. So when they scroll or whatever they're doing, it's always on the side there. So they have their headings here, the different parts of the lesson, and then I like to put their discussion questions here as subheadings so that they can click on them. That way, if they sort of zone out or something like that, they can always jump right back to wherever their group is talking. So that's what it can look like in a classwork assignment. And now we can talk about how to set it up. So we're going to skip to a new document here, a blank one, so that we can go ahead and do that. So for example, we're just going to write do now. Let's say that's the first part of our lesson. Then we want to do a mini lesson. I'm just going to kind of follow the last video, the last example. So this would be video. Then we have a source analysis and a group discussion. So that's pretty much the format of the example we looked at. So up here in your toolbar, you have something here that says it's the styles option, and you can go ahead and use this to assign things different headings. So everything defaults as normal text, and if it's normal text, it's not going to show up in your table of contents or in your heading organization. So we want to change all of these to the top level heading. Now you want to think about this as sort of like an outline. You have your top level heading, then you have your subheadings underneath that, and so on and so forth. So we want this to be a top level heading. So we're going to go up here and we're going to click heading 1. And now it's heading 1. So if we open up our outline, we'll see that do now has appeared. So we are going to go ahead and we're going to do that for all of these headings. So as you click through them, you always want to make sure that when you move to the next line of text, so whatever I want to put as my do now question, it changes back to normal text, otherwise the whole thing will be in headings. So we hit enter to skip down, and it should automatically change back to normal text, and then maybe I want to put my do now question here or whatever it is, and it won't show up here if it says normal text. Now, before we move on to creating our table of contents, let's talk about how we want our headings to look. So, for example, all of my headings, you'll notice all of my heading 1 looks the same. Now, if I jump down and let's say I write do now response here, and I want to turn that into the next level heading, heading 2, you'll see it looks different. And you can decide how these look for each of your headings. And then when you choose them, they'll be standardized across the whole thing without having to change fonts again. So let's say I want all of my heading 2s to be bold and to be red. So I'd highlight it and I go up to my regular font toolbar up here and I want them to be bold. So I click bold and I want it to be red. So I'm going to go up here and make it red. we select that text we just had that's red, and we want to go up here and we go to heading 2, and instead of clicking apply heading 2, what we want to do is click update heading 2 to match. And that means all the heading 2s are going to be red and bold. So I've now clicked that. So when I go up here, you'll notice heading 2 now looks red and bold, and I'm going to click it, and there we go. Now they look the same. So you can choose whatever font, color, style, size, whatever it is you want each heading to be. And then as you go through, you will notice that they will all match as long as you assign the headings properly. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is how to put in your table of contents. So when you go up here, so this is a perfect example. I'm ready to put in my table of contents, but I notice that my cursor is still on heading 1. So I'm going to go back and change that to normal text because I don't want this to be part of my outline. And I'm going to click insert table of contents down here at the bottom. Now when you click that, now I'm going to move this up to the top because I meant to put it up there. So once you click that, now it has created this wonderful table of contents for my document. And as you click, it'll automatically bring you down to the heading that you need to go to. So I like to put something at the top of this that says, jump ahead to where you want to go, because some students might not recognize that they can jump around in this way. So last thing here, I want to point out, you'll notice that do now response and do now question are both kind of indented under the do now, and that's because they are tagged as heading 2. So you can have these subcategories underneath, so you might use that for this exact thing, their response and their question. Maybe like in the example we looked at before, it's the group discussion questions or something like that. Whatever it is, you can set this up however you want. Once you set up your headings, it'll all be automatic, so the students can open up their outlines on the side to see them, or you can give them this table of contents, or you can do both, whatever works best for you. So I hope that this helps in your classroom.